Have you noticed that after spending time with people, you need time to recover? That's not weakness. It's a signal. Psychology suggests that people who truly enjoy staying home instead of going out are often misread. They get labeled antisocial, emotionally distant, even lazy. But if stepping through your front door and shutting it behind you feels less like hiding and more like finally exhaling, there's a strong psychological explanation for that. You're not running from life. You're doing what environmental psychology calls restorative niche construction. You're creating a space that restores you. Society says you should be out there, busy, social, surrounded by noise. But your brain likely has a finely tuned internal regulator. It knows exactly what it needs to function well. You don't dislike people. You simply respect your own energy too much to spend it carelessly. If your home feels like your sanctuary, you probably carry these 5 rare traits. First, you have little patience for performative socializing. When you do go out, you may notice something uncomfortable. Most people aren't truly listening. They're just waiting for their turn to talk. Large gatherings exhaust you, not because you're shy, but because they're often filled with surface-level chatter. You'd rather sit in silence than take part in conversations where everyone is trying to impress, compete, or fake interest. At home, you don't have to perform. You don't have to dress a certain way. You don't have to smile when you don't feel like it. You don't have to explain yourself. You value authenticity so deeply that being alone feels better than being surrounded by pretense. Second, you have high sensory intelligence. For many people, a loud restaurant or a packed street feels normal. Just another Friday night. For you, it can feel overwhelming, like your nervous system is being overloaded. Research shows that people who prefer staying home often score higher in sensory processing sensitivity. You notice the noise, the bright lights, the chaotic energy, the subtle demands in the environment. When you stay home, you're not doing nothing. You're regulating your space. You adjust the lighting, the temperature, the sound. This isn't fear. It's optimization. You understand that your mind works like a high-performance system, and it performs best when it isn't flooded with the input of 1,000 strangers at once. Protecting your energy explains why you avoid crowds, but it doesn't explain what you do with your solitude. Be honest. Do you recharge in silence, or are you still afraid of it? Write your answer in the comments. That brings us to the third trait. You see your home as a laboratory for self-development. From the outside, it may look like you're idle. In reality, you're often deeply engaged. You might be crafting, gardening, writing, building something meaningful. Studies on flow states show that deep creative work requires long stretches without interruption. You love being home because that's where your tools are. That's where your ideas grow. Where you can immerse yourself in complex thoughts without someone interrupting you every 5 minutes with small talk. You're not isolating yourself. You're incubating. Fourth, you have a high threshold for peace. At some point in your life, maybe after a chaotic youth or a draining job, you realize something important. Drama is expensive, and you're no longer willing to pay for it. As you mature, you simplify. You curate your life more carefully. You may have had friends who constantly unloaded their emotional baggage onto you, or social circles fueled by gossip and tension. Staying home became your boundary, a physical line between you and unnecessary chaos. A quiet evening with a pet, a good book, or a partner who truly understands you gives you more genuine pleasure than a loud night out ever could. You're not lonely, you're at peace. To a restless mind, peace can look like boredom, but to you, it feels like freedom. Here's the truth. Loving your home isn't weakness, it's self-sufficiency. Some research even suggests that highly focused individuals may feel less satisfied with frequent socializing. Why? Because their attention is directed toward long-term goals. Growth. Depth. If you can feel content within your own 4 walls, it means you've created a life you don't need to escape from. You didn't withdraw from the world. You designed a better one inside your space. If your home is your favorite place on earth, Drop a house emoji in the comments. And if you're curious why your brain prefers depth over noise, and silence feels powerful to you, not scary, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Silence Incident